projected increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 2025. Introduction. The projected 30% increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 2025 is anticipated to reshape various sectors, particularly defense, trade, and maritime security. This enhancement reflects the geopolitical significance of the Indo-Pacific region, which serves as a critical maritime crossroads for global trade routes and strategic interests. The developments in naval capabilities are closely tied to the ongoing competition between major powers, notably the United States and China, as they vie for influence in this vital area. Historical context. The importance of the Indo-Pacific region has grown significantly over the last few decades, primarily due to its economic and strategic value. The term Indo-Pacific gained prominence in the early 2000s, encapsulating the interconnectedness of both the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Historical maritime routes have facilitated trade and cultural exchanges. While recent geopolitical tensions, particularly territorial disputes, have also highlighted the importance of maintaining maritime security. Key historical events. 2000s. The Indo-Pacific concept emerges, emphasizing the region's strategic importance. 2016, a landmark ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration rejects China's expansive claims in the South China Sea, escalating regional tensions. 2022, the U.S. formalizes its Indo-Pacific strategy, focusing on strengthening alliances to counterbalance China's influence. 2023, the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue Quad reinforces cooperative maritime security initiatives and joint exercises among member states. Theoretical framework. Alfred Thayer Mahan's theory of sea power underpins the strategic importance of naval capabilities. Mahan posited that control of the seas is essential for national security and global influence, emphasizing the need for a strong Navy control over maritime routes and the establishment of strategic bases. This theoretical underpinning is increasingly relevant as the US and China continue to develop their naval forces in response to evolving security dynamics in the Indo-Pacific. Current developments. Military enhancements. The projected increase in naval capabilities involves various military enhancements undertaken by regional powers, particularly the US and its allies. The U.S. has intensified military cooperation with countries such as Japan, Australia, and India, conducting joint exercises aimed at improving interoperability and readiness to respond to potential threats. U.S. naval expansion. Reports indicate a significant investment in advanced naval assets, including aircraft carriers, submarines, and destroyers, aimed at countering the growing assertiveness of China in the region. Allied cooperation. Countries within the Quad have engaged in extensive naval exercises, enhancing collective capabilities and demonstrating a united front against potential aggressors. Regional cooperation mechanisms. In response to the evolving security landscape, various regional cooperation mechanisms have been established. Initiatives like the Quad and ASEAN-led forums serve as platforms for dialogue and collaboration among member states, focusing on maritime security and addressing common threats. The Quad, comprising the US, Japan, India, and Australia, the Quad aims to promote a rules-based international order, enhance maritime security, and facilitate intelligence sharing among member states. ASEAN initiatives. ASEAN has established frameworks such as the ASEAN Regional Forum and the East Asia Summit, which focus on confidence-building measures and collaborative approaches to regional security challenges. Geopolitical tensions. The ongoing military enhancements and the projected increase in naval capabilities reflect the deeper geopolitical tensions in the Indo-Pacific. The rise of China as a maritime power has generated concerns among its neighbors and the US, leading to an arms race in the region. Key themes. Territorial disputes. The South China Sea and East China Sea are focal points of contention, with overlapping claims by China, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Japan. These disputes not only threaten regional stability but also impact global trade routes. Military buildup. Both the US and China are rapidly expanding their naval capabilities, with China investing heavily in its maritime forces and asserting its claims through military presence in disputed waters. Emerging threats and non-traditional security challenges. In addition to traditional military threats, the Indo-Pacific faces emerging non-traditional security challenges that complicate the maritime security landscape. These include cyber threats, environmental degradation, and piracy. Cybersecurity concerns. The rise of technology in naval operations has introduced new vulnerabilities. Cyber attacks targeting maritime infrastructure and communication networks pose significant risks to national security and maritime operations. Environmental degradation. Climate change and environmental degradation are increasingly recognized as critical threats to maritime security. Rising sea levels and extreme weather events threaten coastal communities and critical maritime infrastructure, exacerbating regional vulnerabilities. Piracy and maritime crime. Criminal activities such as piracy and illegal fishing continue to challenge maritime security in the Indo-Pacific. The proliferation of advanced technologies has empowered criminal networks, complicating enforcement efforts by regional navies. Conclusion. The projected 30% increase in naval power projection capabilities by 2025 underscores the shifting dynamics of power in the Indo-Pacific region. As geopolitical tensions continue to rise, particularly between the US and China, the enhancement of naval capabilities will play a crucial role in shaping the future of defense trade and maritime security. The complex interplay of traditional military threats, emerging non-traditional challenges, and the need for regional cooperation will define the security landscape in the Indo-Pacific for years to come. Addressing these challenges through collaborative initiatives, adherence to international law, and a commitment to peaceful dispute resolution is essential for fostering stability and security in this vital region. The projected increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 30% by 2025 is anticipated to reshape the geopolitical landscape significantly. This enhancement will have multifaceted implications for defense trade and maritime security, particularly as nations navigate rising tensions and evolving dynamics in a region recognized as a strategic crossroads. Counterintuitive insights. 1. Increased military presence may not equate to stability. While a 30% increase in naval capabilities suggests a bolstering of military strength, it may paradoxically exacerbate tensions rather than enhance stability. The assumption that military might will guarantee security overlooks the potential for escalated conflicts stemming from miscalculations or aggressive posturing among regional powers. 2. Regional cooperation versus competition. The expectation that nations will cooperate in response to enhanced naval capabilities is challenged by the reality of competitive national interests. For instance, while initiatives like the Quad aim to bolster collective security, the underlying competition for dominance, particularly between the US and China, can hinder genuine collaboration. 3. Environmental challenges as security threats. Traditionally, military capabilities have been viewed through a lens of conventional security threats. However, the integration of environmental challenges such as climate change, rising sea levels, and resource depletion into the maritime security framework is counterintuitive. These non-traditional threats are increasingly recognized as critical to national and regional security, necessitating cooperative approaches that transcend traditional military paradigms. For cybersecurity risks and naval enhancements, as nations upgrade their naval capabilities, the reliance on advanced technologies introduces a paradox of heightened vulnerability to cyber threats. Enhanced capabilities, while ostensibly strengthening naval power, may simultaneously expose critical infrastructures to cyber attacks, creating a dual-edged sword in terms of security. 5. Economic growth versus military expansion. There exists a counterintuitive relationship between military expansion and economic prosperity. While nations may perceive military buildups as a pathway to secure economic interests in maritime trade, the resulting geopolitical tensions can deter investment and disrupt trade routes. ultimately undermining economic stability. 6. The role of non-state actors. The focus on state actors in naval power dynamics can obscure the significant impact of non-state actors, including pirates, human traffickers, and environmental activists. These entities can exploit weaknesses in maritime security frameworks, highlighting the need for comprehensive approaches that address both state and non-state threats. 7. Territorial disputes as catalysts for collaboration. While territorial disputes are often viewed as sources of conflict, they can also serve as catalysts for cooperation. Nations may find common ground in joint resource management or cooperative security arrangements to address shared vulnerabilities, challenging the notion that disputes invariably lead to confrontation. 8. Technological advancements and strategic imbalances. The rapid evolution of maritime technologies may lead to strategic imbalances that benefit certain nations while marginalizing others. This reality complicates the assumption that technological advancements universally enhance security and may inadvertently exacerbate regional inequalities. Conclusion. The projected increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans reflects a complex interplay of defense trade and maritime security dynamics. While the enhancement of military strength is often associated with increased security, the realities of geopolitical competition, environmental challenges, and the evolving nature of threats suggest a more nuanced understanding of security in the region. Recognizing these counterintuitive insights is crucial for formulating effective strategies that prioritize stability, collaboration, and resilience in an increasingly complex maritime landscape. Important content overlooked in the report. The report on the projected increase in naval power projection capabilities in the Pacific and Indian Oceans highlights several critical elements that many may overlook. These elements are significant for understanding the overarching implications of naval enhancements, particularly in the context of geopolitical tensions, economic competition, and maritime security. 1. Non-traditional security threats. While the military buildup and traditional security threats dominate discussions, the report emphasizes the growing importance of non-traditional security threats, particularly environmental degradation, cyber threats, and maritime crime. The significance of these threats lies in their potential to destabilize regions and divert resources away from conventional military engagements. For instance, as nations bolster their naval capabilities in response to traditional threats, they may neglect the equally pressing issues of piracy, illegal fishing, and the impacts of climate change on maritime operations. This oversight can lead to significant vulnerabilities, as these non-traditional threats often exploit gaps in maritime governance and security. 2. The role of emerging technologies. The report discusses the integration of advanced maritime technologies and their implications for naval strategies. Many may overlook the rapid advancements in autonomous vessels, AI, and cyber capabilities that are reshaping naval operations. The significance of this technological evolution is profound. These technologies not only enhance operational effectiveness but also introduce new vulnerabilities. For example, reliance on digital systems makes maritime infrastructure susceptible to cyber attacks, which can compromise national security and disrupt critical maritime operations. Understanding the dual nature of these technologies, as both enablers and threats, is vital for future maritime strategy. 3. Interplay of historical context and current dynamics. The report provides a historical overview of maritime security in the Indo-Pacific, emphasizing how past conflicts and power dynamics shape contemporary security challenges. Many readers may focus solely on current military posturing without recognizing that unresolved historical grievances and territorial disputes underpin many of today's tensions. For example, the South China Sea conflict cannot be fully understood without considering the historical context of colonialism and the evolution of national identities. This historical perspective is crucial for policymakers to devise effective diplomatic and military strategies that not only address current challenges but also seek to resolve the underlying issues that perpetuate conflict. 4. Geopolitical realignments and alliances. The report highlights the strategic realignments among major powers, particularly the US and China, as they navigate the complexities of the Indo-Pacific. However, the nuances of these alliances, such as the role of smaller nations and regional coalitions, are often overlooked. The Quad and ASEAN-led initiatives are critical in shaping the security architecture of the region, yet their effectiveness relies on the willingness of member states to cooperate despite differing national interests. The significance of these coalitions lies in their potential to either mitigate or exacerbate tensions depending on how they manage competing interests and power dynamics. 5. Impact of climate change on maritime security. The report discusses environmental challenges but may not fully capture the long-term implications of climate change on maritime security. Rising sea levels and extreme weather events threaten coastal infrastructure and naval operations, potentially leading to increased humanitarian crises that require military intervention. Moreover, the competition for dwindling resources such as fisheries and fresh water, exacerbated by climate change, can lead to conflicts among nations. Recognizing climate change not just as an environmental issue but as a significant national security concern is essential for comprehensive maritime strategy. 6. Economic implications of naval power projection. While the report focuses on military capabilities, the economic implications of enhanced naval power projection are equally significant and often overlooked. The control of critical sea lanes impacts global trade, supply chains, and energy security. As nations enhance their naval capabilities, they also seek to secure their economic interests, which can lead to increased tensions over resources. Understanding the intersection of economic interests and military capabilities is crucial for predicting future conflicts and ensuring that naval strategies align with national economic goals. 7. Diplomatic solutions and regional cooperation. The report mentions the importance of diplomacy but may not emphasize its role sufficiently in mitigating tensions. As military capabilities grow, the need for robust diplomatic engagement becomes paramount. Diplomatic efforts, including dialogue and negotiation, are essential for conflict resolution, especially in regions with deep-seated historical grievances. The significance of diplomacy lies in its potential to prevent escalation into military confrontation and to foster an environment conducive to cooperative security arrangements. Conclusion. The projected 30% increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 2025 presents far-reaching implications for defense, trade, and maritime security. The overlooked aspects, such as the interplay of nontraditional security threats, technological advancements, historical context, geopolitical realignments, climate change, economic implications, and the critical role of diplomacy, are essential for a comprehensive understanding of the evolving maritime landscape. Recognizing these factors will enable better-informed strategic decisions that prioritize both military readiness and cooperative security efforts in an increasingly complex geopolitical environment. 1. Geopolitical dynamics and power projection. The projected 30% increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans is not just a quantitative enhancement, it reflects a significant shift in geopolitical dynamics. This enhancement underscores the intensifying competition between the United States and China in the Indo-Pacific region. As both nations seek to assert their influence, the implications for regional stability, territorial disputes, and the security architecture become paramount. The U.S. aims to maintain its status as a dominant maritime power through alliances and military presence, while China seeks to expand its reach and assert claims over contested waters. This dynamic is crucial for understanding the future of maritime security and the potential for conflict or cooperation in the region. 2. Theoretical framework of sea power. Alfred Thayer Mahan's theory of sea power serves as a foundational lens to analyze the current maritime security environment. Mahan emphasized the importance of naval strength in achieving geopolitical objectives and controlling key maritime routes. In the context of the Indo-Pacific, This theory is particularly relevant as nations prioritize the development of advanced naval capabilities and the establishment of strategic bases. Mahan's principles underscore the necessity of controlling choke points and maintaining a robust naval presence to safeguard national interests and influence regional dynamics. This theoretical framework is essential for understanding the motivations behind the military buildups and the strategic calculations of regional powers. 3. Emerging nontraditional security threats. The discussion of maritime security in the Indo-Pacific must extend beyond traditional military threats to encompass emerging nontraditional challenges. These include cyber threats, environmental degradation, and illegal maritime activities such as piracy and unregulated fishing. As nations increasingly rely on digital technologies for maritime operations, the vulnerability to cyber attacks poses significant risks to naval infrastructure and operations. Additionally, environmental challenges like climate change and rising sea levels threaten coastal nations and can exacerbate existing geopolitical tensions. Addressing these non-traditional threats requires collaborative approaches and innovative strategies among regional powers to ensure comprehensive maritime security. For regional cooperation mechanisms, the significance of regional cooperation mechanisms such as the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue Quad and ASEAN-led initiatives cannot be overstated in the context of the projected naval capabilities increase. These frameworks facilitate dialogue, enhance interoperability among naval forces, and foster collaborative responses to shared security challenges. The Quad, consisting of the US, Japan, India, and Australia, exemplifies a strategic alignment aimed at promoting a rules-based order and countering unilateral assertiveness in the region. Strengthening these cooperative frameworks is essential for managing tensions, building trust, and ensuring a collective response to both traditional and non-traditional security threats in the Indo-Pacific. The effectiveness of these mechanisms will play a crucial role in shaping the future of maritime security and regional stability. 1. The Battle of Midway, 1942. The Battle of Midway was a pivotal naval battle in the Pacific theater of World War II that occurred from June 4 to June 7, 1942. It is often regarded as a turning point in the war between the United States and Japan. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese aimed to eliminate the United States as a strategic power in the Pacific. However, U.S. intelligence was able to decrypt Japanese messages and anticipate the attack, enabling American forces to set up an ambush. The U.S. Navy, utilizing aircraft carriers and dive bombers, significantly damaged the Japanese fleet, sinking 4 aircraft carriers. This battle not only halted Japanese expansion in the Pacific but also marked the beginning of a series of offensive operations by the U.S. that would eventually lead to victory in the region. The strategic implications of Midway highlight the importance of naval power in controlling maritime routes and the impact of intelligence and technology in modern warfare. 2. The Suez Crisis, 1956. The Suez Crisis was a diplomatic and military confrontation involving Egypt, Israel, the United Kingdom, and France. Following Egypt's nationalization of the Suez Canal, which was critical for maritime trade and oil transportation, Britain and France sought to regain control over the canal and remove Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser from power. Israel invaded the Sinai Peninsula, prompting British and French intervention. However, international pressure, particularly from the United States and the Soviet Union, forced the invading forces to withdraw. The crisis underscored the strategic importance of maritime choke points and demonstrated how naval power projection could be challenged by international diplomacy and geopolitical considerations. The Suez Canal remains a vital trade route, and the crisis highlighted the complexities of maritime security in relation to national interests and international politics. 3. The Falklands War, 1982. The Falklands War was a 10-week conflict between Argentina and the United Kingdom over the disputed Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and South Sandwich Islands in the South Atlantic. The conflict began when Argentina invaded the islands in April 1982, claiming sovereignty over them. In response, the UK dispatched a naval task force to reclaim the islands. emphasizing the significance of naval power in projecting military force over considerable distances. The war concluded with the British reclaiming control of the islands in June 1982. The conflict underscored the role of naval capabilities in modern warfare and the importance of maritime security in protecting national interests. It also illustrated the complexities of territorial disputes and the potential for conflict over strategic locations, resonating with contemporary geopolitical tensions in regions like the Indo-Pacific. The projected 30% increase in naval power projection capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 2025 is set to reshape the dynamics of defense trade and maritime security in profound ways. As countries in the Indo-Pacific region bolster their naval resources, the implications for geopolitical relations, trade routes, and security protocols will be significant. Future outlook, key predictions. 1. Intensified military competition. The U.S. and its allies, including Japan, Australia, and India, will continue to enhance their naval capabilities in response to China's rapid military modernization and assertive actions in the South and East China Seas. Expect increased joint military exercises and cooperative strategies aimed at deterrence and regional stability. 2. Shift in trade dynamics. As naval power projections expand, key trade routes will become more contested. The South China Sea, a crucial trade artery, may see heightened military presence, leading to potential disruptions in trade flows. Countries will likely seek to diversify their trade routes to mitigate risks associated with increased military tensions. 3. Emergence of new alliances. The evolving maritime landscape will foster new coalitions among countries sharing common interests in maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific. Initiatives like the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue Quad and expanding partnerships among regional players will solidify as nations seek collective security arrangements to counterbalance rising powers. 4. Focus on nontraditional security threats. As states strengthen military capabilities, there will be a parallel focus on addressing nontraditional security threats such as cyber threats, environmental degradation, and maritime piracy. Countries will likely collaborate on intelligence sharing and develop frameworks to address these multifaceted challenges. 5. Technological advancements. The introduction of autonomous vessels, advanced surveillance systems, and artificial intelligence in naval operations will revolutionize maritime security strategies. By 2025, nations will increasingly rely on technology for enhanced situational awareness, which may also lead to new vulnerabilities in cybersecurity. 6. Environmental challenges as security issues. Climate change will emerge as a critical factor influencing maritime security. Rising sea levels and extreme weather events can impact naval operations, requiring countries to integrate environmental considerations into their defense strategies. Collaborative efforts in addressing these challenges will become paramount. 7. Geopolitical flashpoints. Territorial disputes in the South China Sea and East China Sea will remain a source of tension. The potential for military confrontations will increase, particularly if diplomatic solutions fail. Countries will need to engage in confidence-building measures to reduce the likelihood of miscalculations leading to conflict. 8. Increased maritime domain awareness. Nations will enhance their maritime domain awareness initiatives to monitor and respond to maritime activities more effectively. This may involve greater collaboration on surveillance technologies and information sharing to safeguard critical sea lanes. 9. Implications for regional economies. As security concerns rise, economic implications will follow. Nations with strategic maritime interests may redirect investments toward defense spending, potentially impacting other sectors. Economic partnerships focused on naval security may become a priority. 10. Long-term strategic repercussions. By 2040, the maritime landscape will be characterized by a balance of power influenced by naval capabilities, alliances, and regional stability frameworks. The ability to project naval power effectively will be a determining factor in shaping the geopolitical order in the Indo-Pacific. Conclusion: the projected enhancement of naval capabilities across the Pacific and Indian Oceans by 2025 signifies a pivotal shift in the geopolitical landscape. As countries navigate these changes, the interplay between military strength, trade security, and non-traditional threats will be critical in shaping regional stability. Collaborative efforts and innovative strategies will be essential to address the evolving challenges in maritime security, ensuring a balanced and secure Indo-Pacific for all stakeholders.